And that is when we realised that Vanessa Hudgens never really meant it when she said we're all in this together.
God, I've not even seen that. What's this about? Oh,
she was doing like a Q&A on her Instagram live, and someone asked her about Corona, and she said, like, it's in, like, people die, and I respect the virus is a thing. I respect it. And it's like, you watch the clip, it's clear what she's basically trying to say is, we all get taken out of this world eventually, and it sucks that this is happening, but, like, it doesn't scare me on that level personally because I sort of accept that people die at some point. But it's like, you have young fans, and it sounds like you're going, I respect the virus, it's going to kill people. It's like, whoa, you moron. Basically, millennials and Generation Z and Gen X, we all deny her reality.
And substitute our own. On this self-isolation edition of the Big Damn Cast.
This is so weird. Right, for everyone who listens to this show often, you know that every now and again, if one of us is working away from home, we will Skype the show.
If you're working away from home, because I don't work away from home, ever.
Hey, some say that home is where the work is.
I don't work at the moment. So there we go.
Hey, us and every other self-employed person on the planet now.
Too fucking
right.
Right.
My lord, because that's the thing. Because we are here right now recording in our hometown. We are a 15-minute walk away from each other.
Yeah, something like that.
But I have not been feeling well since definitely last Tuesday night. I had a weird temperature thing because the moment I realised on Thursday I don't think I'm well, I was like, right, Matt, are you okay?
Yeah, I've been fine. No symptoms for me.
I wasn't good on Tuesday night. We recorded last week on Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
And Thursday night, I made the decision to stay home before it was cool. It's
been 7 days since we saw each other, so if you were going to infect me with anything, I'm sure I would have started showing symptoms by now.
Or maybe you got such a cool immune system that you are a carrier, but not a participant.
Oh, I'll rephrase that. Kanisha hasn't started showing any symptoms
either.
Okay, fair enough. Although she's working from home.
Yeah, I'm glad. When you told me that, I was like, I'm glad she is, because A, she'll be fine. B, if she has it and has no symptoms, the people around her will be fine.
Yep.
And C, unlike me and Lou who are unwell, you guys aren't unwell. So you do you in your spare time, whatever you want to do with it.
I beg your pardon. My
Whereas,
dad is also at home, but not working from home. He offered to work from home, but they just sent him home.
Okay, is he getting paid?
He's getting
paid.
That's the question. At the moment.
Good.
Well, that's the whole thing. There's people are being forced to go home and not being paid. People are being just not able to work.
Well, Lou was unwell a bit on Friday, and employees at her place of work said, like, are you okay? And she was like, I don't know. Christopher's unwell, so I'm not sure. I'll let you know in the morning. Saturday morning, she was like, I'm not feeling good. And then they went, don't come in. And it's the usual. They're doing sick pay for her for 7 days. But after that 7 days, they want to reassess. So come this Saturday, she's going to have to basically get in touch with them and be like, right, do you want me to come in?
Do you
really want me to come in? Because even if she's still feeling better, she might not be completely free of whatever she's had. We hoped that what we had was just like a chest infection or something.
Yeah.
But it's mostly the short of breath symptom that has persisted this last week, and it's like, oh, maybe we got the big COVID-19.
Maybe you got that COVID.
But we're in our late 20s and our immune systems are pretty decent. So if anyone's listening going, oh God, it's like, no, we'll be fine. It's just like having a really annoying mini flu more than anything.
Yeah.
It does mean that you might hear me doing this throughout the show. It makes this horrible little raspy noise whenever I inhale. But it also means that I'm going to have to quell that noise with this one. I'm having a beer, mate.
What's he on?
I'm having a beer. I'm cracking through Wife Beater.
Don't call it that.
I won't call it that. No, I'm taking it back from the Wife Beater.
And also, you call that beer?
Belgium calls it beer.
Fucking Belgium.
Liverpool calls it beer.
Fucking Liverpool.
I'm not suggesting either of those places advocate the beating of a spouse, but rumours start somewhere, my boys. So, right, now that we've lost most of Belgium and Liverpool,
yep. Big demographics for us.
Big damn demographics.
Hey!
Welcome to Big Damn Cast. I am Christopher, self-isolating and feeling fat Johnson.
And I'm Matthew. I'd stay in the house anyway, Watson.
And we have got we've got news this week in our pop culture podcast
of a sort.
But you're going to notice a theme, folks.
Yeah, big theme.
It's a very common theme.
Big theme energy.
Big damn themagy. But first up, we also are going to talk later on as we go about your coping methods, because you lot are all being sensible out there, at least the ones who've tweeted us and emailed, and you're self-isolating or limiting your time outside in the world and washing your damn hands, your big
Wash
damn
your
hands. So you've been sending us your little coping mechanisms.
But we'll have a look at a bit of news first.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's going to kind of inform the rest of the show, because everything is closed.
I don't remember that part from the Lego Movie.
Everything is closed, and everything's been postponed.
Oh, God,
at the moment, we are looking at... I mean, I am on tenterhooks because I want to know what's going on with Download Festival, which is in June. That's probably going to get cancelled.
I imagine Download would be postponed more than anything.
Well, it depends on the acts, doesn't it?
Yeah, if they can retain about 50% of them, I imagine they'll find.
It might get compressed to one day, but it depends who ends up turning up. But also, Glastonbury's been cancelled.
Is that official?
Yeah.
Damn.
Glasgow's gone. All the Euro 2020's been pushed to next year.
Eurovision's been cancelled.
Eurovision's been cancelled. What a loss.
I'm not saying that that it doesn't bring joy to many people, but also, yay!
It's fucking Eurovision, isn't it?
I'm saying yay because we're keeping people safe, guys, and no other reason. Not because it's a mediocre show. But it's about unity, and then they all vote for the countries that aren't going to be annoyed by them not voting for them with the highest points.
Yes. GDC was cancelled. The Game Developers Conference. E3 has been cancelled.
E3, which I don't think is going to affect Nintendo or Sony that much anyway, but...
No, Sony were straight up not going to be there. And Nintendo kind of do their own thing anyway.
Yeah.
But either way, this is... For some of this stuff, it is the question of, okay, so how does that stuff come back ever? Because E3 certainly is at a point where it's kind of not necessary.
Oh, yeah. It's like you said, Sony have already kind of, in the words of Paltrow and Martin, consciously uncoupled from it.
And not really seen any... Oh, hello. Not really seen any downside.
It's Gwyneth Paltrow, she heard.
Yeah, she's here. She wants to sell me an egg.
I mean, if Goop want to sponsor us, feel free, but we will be brutally honest about the moon rocks we've shoved up our arse.
I've not even looked into what Gwyneth Paltrow's got to say about the coronavirus. I'm scared. But yeah, I think E3 particularly is going to be one of those things where is the industry, the ESA in the States, going to realise, oh, actually, we don't need to bother doing this? Or certainly the people who go to E3 are like, oh, we don't need to bother going, and then it collapses. It's been slowly collapsing like a fly in a cupboard for about a decade at this point.
That's true. I mean, again, maybe it'll be a case of compartmentalising. E3 will probably survive going forward as like a day-long event where everyone shares the stage and it's just a big press thing.
Well, they've been trying to pivot more to consumers, which has never really been what the show is about. It's an industry show. It started off as an industry showcase for retailers and publishers, but it's not. It's kind of moved more and more away from that as it's got more accessible to the public.
The downside will be the loss of the Devolver Digital presentation.
Yeah, that's been quite good.
That's become a work of art, that thing.
I'm sure they'll do something.
Yeah, like E3 Home Edition or something like that.
Yeah,
they've been great. For those who don't know, it's they are a developer, aren't they?
They're a publisher.
They're a publisher.
Yeah,
and they do a conference that is essentially a satirical and usually often satanic look at what these press conferences at E3 are.
It's less a press conference and presentation and more of a theatre show. And it's quite fun. So that's not happening. And then, of course, as we know, the cinemas...
That just sums this all up, by the way. It's quite fun. That's not happening.
All the cinemas are closed.
Yeah.
Bloodshot managed to sneak out.
Jesus.
But I've not seen it yet because all the cinemas are closed.
Oh, God. Yeah, as we're recording this late Wednesday, the 18th, and it was Monday that Odeon announced that they were closing all their chains till future notice.
Yeah.
There was a Cineworld followed on, and...
The problem being, are the staff getting paid?
Knowing
cinemas as we do, probably not.
Probably not.
I hope they are, but they're probably not. And that sucks. So I might look into seeing what we can do without unlimited subscriptions, because I'm not sure I want to give them the money for the time that they're shut if they're not paying their staff.
True. I mean, at the same time, if the limited subscriptions go toward covering costs in places, I'd be happy to maintain mine.
They're going to get bailouts from the government, though. That's the thing.
True. Well, oh God, let's not even get started on all the way that's going.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see what happens with that, but there's a lot of talk. They're talking a big game, so we'll see if they can back it up.
Actually, a company that's very near and dear to my heart and an organisation in a very specific building might be closing forever based on the very careful wording of our Prime Minister. The avoid wording, like avoid these places instead of these places must shut down.
Yes, no, that's happening. I was due to see Stuart Lee at the Lowry in April. So that's not happening now.
No,
it's
mental.
Yeah, we've got the big shows in town. Back to the Future. It's doing its world premiere run. That's been smacked.
Phantom Tour's been halted. The West End's
closed.
West End's closed. I know there's still some comedy venues and smaller theatre venues in London that are running, but it's all down to people choosing whether or not. Broadway, that's the biggest.
Yeah, Broadway's fucked.
Broadway just got, including all TV shows, late night productions, taking place.
Anything with an audience, basically.
Stephen Colbert and The Late Show have been carrying on the last two nights as like a 20-minute long show instead of an hour long.
Yeah.
With monologues. First night was Stephen in his bathtub, wearing his bathing suit, just full on suit and tie whilst in the bath. And the second night was by his little fire pit in the garden. And that was pretty fun. Like, they found ways around it. Like John Baptiste playing the theme music over Skype, like by his piano.
Yeah.
So they've been finding ways to keep it entertaining and fun. But yeah, everything along that stretch is just boom.
Yeah, it's a real shitter, and it's going to be one of those things that how long is it going to take?
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to focus on our industry, but because that's what we work in. But industries in general, how long is it going to take them to bounce back? And it indefinitely, I think, is what we're looking at here, because we've got a list of, not an exhaustive list by any means, but certainly a list of big releases in the cinema that have been pushed back with no. I think the only major thing that's got an actual date for when it's been pushed back to is No Time to Die. Has been pushed to November.
Yeah, that was. I guess because it was the first one, so it was the most optimistic of the bunch.
They pushed that, but we've Disney have been out there talking about stuff. So Black Widow was due out in May. That's been pushed back.
Yeah, and that got a brand new trailer and poster just after we finished last week.
Yeah,
which doubled down on the fact that it was still a May 5th release. And then in the days since, they went, that would be foolish of us to do.
It was the cinema closures that forced them to do it. Yeah. If the cinemas had stayed open, which there was no way they could, to be fair, then it would they would be coming out, whether or not anyone was going to be seeing it. They've also pushed back, they've not even pushed these back. They've just completely pulled everything, and they're going to they're going to give them new dates in the future. So the US release of The Personal History of David Copperfield, that's gone off the slate. That's a pretty good movie as well.
I imagine Anucci will probably renegotiate to get that on a streaming service or put it on VOD ASAP.
Film 4 and a hand in that. So, and there is some of that stuff going on, but we'll get to in a sec. The Woman in the Window has gone. Mulan, New Mutants, Antlers, all that stuff is pulled. There is a degree of pushback in that stuff is being pushed out to home release earlier. Oh, A Quiet Place 2. That was due out next week. That's indefinitely on hold now.
Yeah.
These are movies that are finished.
Yeah,
mostly.
These are movies that are ready to roll.
But there's nowhere to release them to.
Unless the world collectively pick a specific purchase option and all chime into it at a specific price, then...
Universal have done an interesting thing where Trolls 2, Trolls World Tour, is getting a simultaneous...
Not to be confused with Troll 2.
Yeah. not Troll 2, Trolls 2. That's getting a simultaneous cinema and VOD rental release in the States.
Yeah. Or rather, just a VOD rental release.
Yes, it is technically being released to cinemas, but whether enemy cinemas will be open to show it is another matter. But they will be able to, should they wish.
Yeah,
it will be available for them to show. And it's getting a same day VOD rental release. And you got things.
Not a bad call.
Home releases,
especially with kids staying at home as well.
Digital home releases are getting pushed forward. So Frozen 2 is out on Disney Plus now. They pushed that forward. Rise of Skywalker is being pushed forward for its digital purchase and rental release.
Oh, wow, that affects me in no way whatsoever.
Harley Quinn Birds of Prey that's coming out March 24th.
Damn,
for
that is a quick
digital
turnaround.
purchase, and then it's coming out for rental in April. Kathy Ann was like, they were talking about stuff like this on social media, and Kathy Ann tweeted somebody and was like, yeah, I'd be open to getting Birds of Prey out earlier. And then about 3 hours later, it was like, yeah, we're pushing it out in March 24th. So happening. She's clearly made a phone call or two.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to be seeing it in a theatre for the next few weeks, so it's either going to make...
it's still in theatres. Or was still in theatres before everything fucking closed.
It's either going to make next to no money, or it's going to make no money, so let's just put it on a different format and make some money, damn it. Yeah.
Invisible Man, The Hunt, and Emma are all getting pushed to VOD earlier. So, worth checking out Invisible Man when that comes along. So it's a case of... But the thing that this opens up again is similar to events being cancelled and maybe not coming back. Can you put this genie back in the bottle? Once studios start going direct to consumer... are they going to realise that they don't need the cinemas as much as the cinemas need them? That's going to be an interesting
is this
quandary.
going to be a complete reshaping of the medium as we know it? Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's going to be complete, but I think certainly some of the smaller studios, which are getting kind of pushed out of multiplexes anyway by the increasing monopoly of Disney and Warner Brothers, I think there's definitely a case to be made that you can't kind of... It's gonna change things. In the same way that a lot of people working... I would hope that a lot of people being made to work from home, who are able to work from home, a lot of the companies that are making them do that will realise that it might actually be more convenient to let staff work from home where possible.
Yeah. Pay less rent for workspaces and bills for all this, that and the other, and yeah, it's an odd one. My brother, not going into great detail for those listening at home, but he coordinates assassinations. My brother works within digital coordination for a company, and his previous job with a different company that work in the same kind of wheelhouse, he worked Monday to Thursday, and then Friday was on call day.
Yeah.
So he just did his job from home. He couldn't really go out. He'd pop out to the shops, but he couldn't really go out. He had to be ready to answer the call at any point. 9 times out of 10, a whole day would go by without a single email. But he'd still be at home because he could perform the function that was needed if they needed him to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that way, one day a week, they weren't paying for electricity use and everything that he would have used up at the building.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's a similar thing, isn't it? It's just if you can work from home, maybe people should start doing that full on. Why not? To have a couple days at a place where everyone sort of touches base and then, do the rest remotely.
I think it would be nice to see an uptick in remote working. I think I can help readdress some of the work-life balance problems that are happening. But that's a broader social issue that's kind of outside of the purview of us two wankers prattling on about pop culture stuff.
Unless, of course, anyone wants to hire us to do that from home.
Yeah, we can do that. Oh, fucking hell.
We can write shitty clickbaity headlines, guys. We'll do it. 10 things you never knew about Spider-Man 3. Number 1. Spider-Man 3 is the third movie in a series.
I keep getting ones popping up on my newsfeed, and I think it's either from Screen Rant or Digital Spy. I think it's from Screen Rant.
They're all garbage.
I don't even like Screen Rant, but I keep getting it's like 5 things that you liked that worked about this thing, and 5 things that didn't, and shit like that. And 5 great things from 5 great designs from this franchise, and 5 that weren't so great. I hate that. I hate it. I hate clickbaity shit. But
at least that offered like sort of an opinion piece from the headline. So many of them like, you will not believe that this happened to such a body on the set of this film. And then you click it and you're like, oh, somebody turned up late one day and couldn't get any craft services.
Oh no.
Right. Okay. Thanks for the 17 paragraphs, you twads.
So we mentioned before that GDC was cancelled.
Yeah.
GDC was going to be the platform for Sony to talk about the upcoming PS5. They couldn't do that, so they did it today.
They did
via live stream.
In a way that got them a bunch of negative publicity because of clickbait articles about the announcement, misframing what the announcement was about.
Because people were making out like it was going to be, they're going to show the console off, they're going to announce some games. No, it was recently from GDC, so it was a very technical look at what's coming up in the PS5 in the PlayStation 5. So
a deep dive.
We haven't seen it. We don't know what it looks like. We don't know what the controller looks like. We don't know what games are coming out on it. And I'm not going to get into the numbers because we now know the specs for the Xbox One Series X, the Xbox Series X, and the PS5. And it's a lot of numbers. It's gigabytes and teraflops and all that bullshit. And they're both focused on using solid state storage technology to make really fast loads.
Yeah.
Make shit load really fast. So both systems are running off a SSD, which you will be able to expand.
And when it's flashing, don't turn off the console, folks.
Yes. You can use traditional hard drives to like give yourself backup storage, or for the PlayStation 5, you can use that to run backwards compatible PS4 games off.
Okay. You have my curiosity, PlayStation.
So, and you can do the same thing with Xbox 360 and Xbox One and Xbox original games on the Xbox Series X. Whichever ones of them end up being backwards compatible. There's not a lot of details on backwards compatibility for either console out there.
Yeah, when there is, that's when they'll have my attention.
Yes, but the whole thing is that it's all focused around this solid state drive technology, fast, like near instant loading of massive amounts of data, less redundancies and multiple like instances of data on disks and in file structures, so you get smaller downloads.
Yeah.
Stop it, Christopher.
I just whipped out a veiny throbbing silver tipped thing in front of the camera.
It was the Tomb Cyber Leader.
It was indeed.
It was glorious.
He wants to know how much RAM the PS5 has.
It's got so much RAM. I can't
so
even
much
tell you how
RAM.
much RAM it's got. I've got the specs here. I'm not even.
It's going to keep ramming.
Fucking read them off. Ramming speed.
Ludicrous speed.
But yeah, the main difference between the two consoles being that to expand your SSD storage on the Xbox Series X, it's a proprietary memory card format that slots into the back.
Okay.
But for the PS5, you're going to be able to use consumer like grade SSDs, but it has to have a certain connection, be a certain form factor. And it also has to reach certain speeds. So they're out there saying, you're going to be able to buy drives that aren't proprietary to put in this thing, like you can with the PS4. But unlike the PS4, they're probably not going to be available to consumers at launch.
So give it time.
Yeah, so give it time. And like it has to be a very specific. It has to like match up to our data speeds and such. So a lot of like SSDs that are on the market at the moment can't actually run that fast. So it's going to be something that it'll be able to do in the future, but not necessarily at launch. But in the I don't know what you're getting in the Xbox One. I think you're getting a terabyte. But certainly in the PS5, you're getting, I think, 825 gigabytes.
Okay, that's pretty decent speed.
Which is an odd number.
It's odd, but it's still nice, and it's still a nice hefty amount.
Well, they say
that
was what they thought was a good balance between cost and what you'd actually use, because because of the loading technology, they're looking to have smaller file sizes for games.
Yeah,
even though the assets are much more high res and such, and therefore bigger individually, they use the example of like one of the post-box textures in the Spider-Man PS4 game. That's on the disc and in the file structure in multiple places, so they can load it quicker.
Oh, okay.
Whereas the way the files are structured is you have the same thing in multiple different places in the file structure, so the game can load it quicker.
Yeah.
Whereas with the SSD stuff, because it can load stuff so quickly, and it's not disk-based, it's not going off a hard disk, so you don't have to find it on the actual physical platter. It's a quicker load-in, and therefore you only have to have that texture in once, and you just pull it out whenever you need it, because it's there instantly. So it's things like that. They're going to bring game file size down. In terms of backwards compatibility, which is the thing that we're all interested in, they've turned around and said that most of the 100 most popular PS4 titles will be backwards compatible at launch.
Oh.
But
okay.
And it will increase, but the reason that it's not all of them is because they have to test each game individually, because it's not simple backwards compatibility.
So it's not a case of, because when they said most of the top 100, I was like, oh, they're prioritizing based on what sales they think will drive
they're prioritizing what games are backwards compatible based on the games that they think most people already have.
Yeah, so it's based not so much on money that can be made from resale or whatever, it's based purely on units sold. So they're starting at the top and working their way down.
Because they want to be, obviously one of the barriers to entry is being able to carry your library forward.
Yeah, so anybody who's got like Extreme Fishing 75 might be left in the dust for a couple of years. But,
but the thing they've said is that
your GTA 5s and such are going to be intact.
Part of the reason that things aren't necessarily backwards compatible initially is because some games, because of the way they're made, don't play nice with the new faster loading tech.
Okay.
So it's a bit like if you're playing a PS1 game on your PS3 and it's got like the option for faster disk loading.
Yeah.
That fucks up some games.
Okay.
Like that messes up with some games. So it's the same kind of thing.
My suggestion herein would be this, good sir. Obviously, it's not an immediate concern of theirs, but if it's going to be this difficult to be backwards compatible for the previous generations, based on what the older ones did, because of course the older ones were just like, we're immediately backwards compatible with everything you've got. I mean, even the first PS3s, that first wave had the compatibility to play PS2.
Well, that was because they had hardware from the previous systems in them.
That's what I'm saying. If it's becoming less of a likelihood that will be a continuous thing, for the sake of library preservation, I think it's time they put some money aside to work on a console, like just a separate console with a relatively low cost that can play at least like the PS1 to 3 library. Do you know what I mean? Because there are a lot of people.
Because there's no mention of that.
But I think that's
PS1 to 3 stuff.
I think that is the recurring concern of fans. It's
people want
it's not the previous generation. It's every previous generation. Like people are holding on to libraries that they feel.
I'd love to not have my PS3 hooked up anymore, but there's so much stuff that I can't play without it.
But if they can't provide that in the new console, then give us a secondary console. Like, we've got the PS5, and then we've got like the PS Rewind or something, and that plays 1, 2, and 3.
That's
discs.
a terrible name. You should never work in mind.
Give us the PS Retro. PSR.
Ooh, I don't like that.
PSF. PS Flashback.
That's better.
Games for old fuckers.
So the PS5.
Your granddad's games. Call it that.
We learned some more stuff about the PS5. That's happening.
All I know is it's apparently not got the processing power of the Xbox Series X, and they're going to be those hardcore Xbox fans who lord that over people for a whole generation, whilst PlayStation and Nintendo Switch get all the best exclusives. So,
yay! Well, there's a rumour going around big time at the moment that Sony are looking to acquire the Metal Gear and Silent Hill licenses from Konami.
Christ, I hope so.
That is a very... I've seen that a few places. I'm not 100% sure there's any truth in it, because I think that's a big...
I'm not fussed about... And I'm not just saying
sale.
this... I'm not just saying this because it's not my series, but like I'm not that fussed about them resurrecting Metal Gear so much as just...
I mean, I love Metal Gear, but I think you can let it go now, yeah.
Yeah, preserve it, buy the license, and then be like, right, we own the collections, so we can put it out.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a re-release of everything on a modern console. Yeah,
like that'd be nice. But Silent Hill, good God, yes, get a hold of that. There's so much more you could do with that. Well,
because of course Sony are now have a close working relationship with Hideo Kojima off the back of Death Stranding.
Yeah.
So,
or as I like to call it, pee and poo bombs carry your baby.
Still haven't finished. Still have not finished Death Stranding.
If you leave it any longer, it'll end up becoming an adventures in backlogging topic as opposed to just a playthrough.
Yeah, it's just... That's what it is. I need to get back on the streams. I think I've finally sorted out my technical issues.
Hey, if all else fails, come over it.
No, can't do that.
Maybe not for another 7 days.
I was going to start them up again tonight because I was going to move the days so things are a little easier with other stuff, but we had to do the record in the evening because of other things, so I'm not sure when it'll get back to it.
Folks, if you want to know when, twitter.com/bigdamcast.
I'm not sure when it'll get back to a regular schedule, but keep an eye out for evening streams as and when I can. I'll probably try and do one on Friday, but I can't promise anything.
That's right. I sprayed my sticky white love piss onto the Big Damn stream last night.
I've noticed you've been streaming quite a lot.
Yeah, I've hit that check mark on my original account, which is been affiliate for a while. It's been affiliate for nearly a year, but it's always had a bit of an edge because it's where Big Damn stream started. So as a result, I've got a good traction from like the last 5 years.
Yeah,
and I recently a new menu appeared in my dashboard for partner categorization. So I've hit the amount of hours needed. I've hit the amount of days consecutive streaming needed. But I still don't have the right viewer average. So I'm going to persist a little longer and see how it goes. And if that bumps up, then the channel becomes partner, which is good, because then when I host our various projects, they'll have a wider audience and get promotion, which would be lovely.
But in terms of channel content, in terms of streams, like everything's going to be all over the place for the foreseeable, because...
Oh, that's fine.
We don't know what the fuck's going on. So that's just a fair warning to y'all.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm able to stream on Big Damn now easily, because I've had the time, obviously, because of this. Yeah. So I've been creating new graphics and figuring out my thingies. My Stream Deck now has a completely different setting for Big Damn. And I've got all the permissions cleared. And it's great, because I've got that feature where you can set buttons. So when I'm streaming Big Damn, there's a whacking Big Damn cast logo on one of the buttons, which is nice. Yes. The little things keep us sane, folks. Just like this delicious, delicious bottle of Stella Artois. If they'd like to sponsor us, please do.
Yes.
But, do non-contact delivery to the house.
Don't worry about things like I have no idea when the next Big Damn Love's going to be up. No idea when the next big Adventures in Backlogging is going to go out. No idea of anything, really. We're going to wind up production on the commentaries again. And that's kind of on the back foot because now we can't be in the same room together. We
have a couple lined up though, so patrons stick around. There is stuff banked on its way to you.
We started banking them, and then everyone got sick.
Yeah, we've got to figure out when to produce the next stage. Hey, if you're listening to this and you're a patron, let us know on Patreon or the Discord if you want us to do just like mini commentaries individually recorded or something in the meantime to bulk up.
I mean,
or if you don't. Yeah, go on, sorry.
I don't want one of us talking over something. That would suck.
You say that, but...
Can you imagine?
I don't know. It depends on what we're doing commentary over. Like, we could do it over Go Compare ads or something.
I mean, it might possibly be one of the only things that could make the chase bearable. Because anyone who was on my Twitter earlier today would know. Because my dad's been sent home from work, so I spent a lot of the day with him, so I'm not at home under Kenisha's feet while she's working from home. And also, I don't care if he gets sick.
Bloody hell!
No, that's a lie. I do care if he gets sick.
You just want, if he's gonna get sick, you want you to be the one responsible.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can lord it.
It's alright, I stay at least 2 meters away from him. But
Boy, what have you done?
That's just because of the smell. But
we love you, Paul. Don't listen to him.
I was looking through my Plex library and I'd ripped some Doctor Who DVDs that I hadn't had a chance to watch yet. One of them being The Chase. So we watched the first 5 episodes of The Chase. Didn't get to finish it because I had to come home. And I'm glad I had to come home because fucking hell, it's bad.
Hey,
it's so bad!
Hey, you got to find out why the Mary Celeste was abandoned.
The Mary Celeste.
The Mary Celeste.
The Mary Celeste, which is spelled Mary.
Gallifrey.
Gallifrey.
You got to find out what happens when a random theme park attraction has a Frankenstein's monster that can lift up Daleks.
And Dracula.
And Dracula's there, going,
with his fangs.
Welcome to my palette, with his massive prop fangs.
Yeah, they look like they're made out of paper. They look so thin. They look flat. He looks like he's got flat fangs on.
But he's only the second best terrible miming character in that whole serial.
Oh, that fucking robot double.
The Hartnell
What's the
duplicate.
guy's name who plays him? Edmund something.
It's probably Billiam Cratnolls or something.
But like, it doesn't look anything like him. I know they use Billy Hartnell in some of the close-ups, but then they don't in some of them.
Locate and destroy.
And it's just... and then it's all dubbed, badly dubbed at that. And
it's his weird little hand gestures where he's just like flitting his hand away like, no, yes, I heard you.
It's
bizarre, man.
I need to look up what his name is now. But yeah, so, I've been watching a lot of classic Who lately anyway, and Keith's been watching a lot of Buffy. So I think our self-isolation time is going to be made up mainly of those things. Also, Keith's just started The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, so that's fun.
Hot damn! Has she already taken down the first Griffin yet?
Oh yeah, no, she's plugging into it. She's in that game, and I'm really enjoying sort of vicariously living it through her. Like I can't wait to get my hands on it and give it a good playthrough. But I've got to also finish Death Stranding and The Outer Worlds first, and also at some point I've got to try and get hold of Doom Eternal.
Yeah,
because that comes out on Friday.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed sooner rather than later.
I'm not going to get it anytime
one.
soon, and also I ain't going to fucking play it anytime soon, because shit me. But it's okay, because I've got Dooms 1 through 3 on my Switch to tide me over.
And you can watch the Doom movie.
I watched Doom Annihilation, the new one.
Oh, the one that's got no relation to the Doom film starring Dwayne Johnson.
No relation at all.
Yeah, go on, hit me.
It's on Now TV.
Is it?
If you want to try it out, yeah.
I'll have to give it a go because ever since everything went on shutdown, our Now TV box and some of our mobile online features have been lagging or not working. It's really weird. My in-laws tried to phone us this morning on both our phones and couldn't get through.
My mum was trying to get hold of me and my dad earlier, and she couldn't get through to either our mobiles or my parents' house phone because I was over
weird.
there. It was very odd.
This laptop, bar a couple of websites that I'm currently talking to you through, has been fine. So, what's the catch? But yeah, so if I can get Now TV cranked up, I can watch Doom
Annihilation. It's the main character. It's got a female lead, which is neat for a sort of sci-fi action movie. She is named Joan Dark.
What?
The lead character's name is Joan Dark.
At least her name isn't Joan d'Arc.
I kind of wish it was. But
Joan d'Arc. Sorry, while you describe this to me, I need to.
Hey,
I think I'm going to need to get my second one right on. There we go. There we are.
Get it on. But yes, the Edmund Warwick. Edmund Warwick. That's the fake Doctor Who. In the Death of Doctor Who. I knew it was going to bug me until I've looked it up.
So Joan Dark and Edmund Warwick walk into hell.
Doom Annihilation is actually not as shitty as I've heard it is.
Oh!
It looks cheap. And it's not very good.
Yeah.
But it's not a complete fucking train wreck. Like, there's some alright stuff going on in there.
I mean, maybe you're just watching it in the ideal circumstances, i.e. during a period of global pandemic.
I was at my dad's. I was 3 beers in. What can you do?
Is your dad converting you to the... Well, it's not that bad, actually.
I mean, it's got 1 star on Now TV. I'd probably give it 2. But he hasn't converted me to the way to bad films because I watched a bit of Blade Trinity the other day while I was around there. And
you cock-juggling thunder
that nearly gave me a fucking stroke, man.
It's so bad,
It was like, this looks cheap and shit. David Goyer can't shoot action to save his life. Like, I can't tell... Like, the whole sequence with... It starts off looking like a bad mid-2000s music video because it's Dominic Purcell as Drake, like, strolling through the streets, like, super green screened against this slow-moving sky, and he's moving at normal speed, and everyone else is super quick, and it looks like a shitty music video, and it's bad. And then they have the whole fight and chase scene with Blade chasing him through the city, and the geography of it is just nuts. None of it makes any sense. You can't tell where anyone is in relation to each other, because every shot they cut to is a different angle. Like, there's no continuity of editing. It's just all over the fucking place. I also forgot Patton Oswalt was in it.
But that's the thing. I always remember Patton Oswalt's in it because the best thing to come out of Blade Trinity is his stories about making Blade Trinity.
I need to look some of them up because I'm always in favour of Patton Oswalt's stories. I did remember Natasha Lyonne was in it, though. I remember Natasha Lyonne.
Of course, yeah. And Ryan Reynolds basically playing Deadpool. Because they wrote the character kind of like Deadpool, and there's a story like somewhere where he said to them when he first read the script, he was like, "Oh, this guy's kind of like Deadpool," and they went, "Yes, he is," and it was almost like, but the writer and the producers and stuff were basically saying like, think about that, Ryan. Maybe keep that in your mind.
Keep it in your mind.
And him playing that part is why he was approached immediately for playing the part in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
And of course, as we all know, he went on to make his name playing the Green Lantern. That's a bad film. But yes, there are definitely worse ways to spend your time while you're in self-isolation, trawling through streaming services for terrible movies, like Doom Annihilation. It's not good, but it's not terrible. I mean, it is terrible, but it's, you know what I mean.
Dear 47 of the Isolation, Matt's judgment of taste and decency.
I think it's better than Doom 2005, but it takes itself a little more seriously.
Okay. Right.
So it's a little it's not as stupid. It's not as intentionally stupid, shall we say. And it doesn't have The Rock in
John
it. So it doesn't have The Rock or Karl Urban or Rosamund Pike.
Of course Rosamund Pike's in Doom 2005. Bloody hell.
But her bra isn't.
Oh God, yeah.
And it's weird and distracting, and I don't like it. Dexter Fletcher is also in Doom 2005.
Yeah. Yes, he is. The director.
Half of them is anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Bloody hell. Okay. Now I want to watch Doom 2005. But
do you? Do you though?
There are other ways to spend that time.
Chris, how have people been telling us that they're spending their self-isolation time?
We reached out to Dexter Fletcher and other people.
And he went, who the fuck are you?
He went, what is this?
What?
We reached out to folks on Twitter and said, what are you doing with your self-isolation? How are you spending that time distracting yourself?
Not wisely,
We've had a few responses. Lovely Dave Gorver, who's actually my uncle on my stepmom's side. Hello, Dave. Says, we're that old. It's Breath of Fire 3 is what they're spending their time doing.
Fucking hell, that's some retro shit. I like that.
Yeah, and now they're moving on to Final Fantasy 8.
Classic.
Yeah, so, all right, going for the games.
Are they playing original Final Fantasy 8 or are they playing the newly released remaster?
I imagine the OG, because this was a couple days ago, and if he's sensible, he won't be spending valuable toilet roll money.
The remaster came out a few months ago.
Relatively
recently released.
Let us know in the future and the past, Barry Jingo. We also had a message from Steph Taylor. Hello, lovely Steph. Steph says, I personally just spend my time screaming into the void.
Yep. I mean, I do that anyway.
Yeah. But what a useful way to while away the hours, just staring into the abyss and screaming. in the hopes that one day it might scream back, and thus your new adventure would begin.
All I can think of is the rising sun from Rick and Morty.
Some Lovecraftian stuff right here.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Will Smith, not that one.
No.
Sergeant Smudge says, painting, playing the trumpet, drinking, and video games.
Yes.
Basically the stuff I was doing beforehand.
Yes.
So just in abundance.
I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get the chance to get back into Warhammer before the outbreak, because now I don't have anything to paint.
Amazon.
No, I have things to paint, I just don't have things to paint with. And also no money to buy things which to paint with.
You have cats, and if you isolate for long enough without food, you'll die and they'll eat you. So get ahead of the curve, eat the cats, and use their tails as brushes.
And the blood as their paints.
Oh, good lord. Hazel Hall says, to keep myself busy during this mass media panic, I'm binge-watching South Park on Amazon Prime, dancing my heart out, and listening to the entire back catalogue of the Big Damn Cast. So, Hazel, good choice. Downside, of course, to that choice is you'll hear us saying that this is a good choice in about 7-8 months' time when you've caught up to this episode. So, best of luck on that. Also, shouts out to Out of the Broom Cupboard. So thank you very much for that, Hazel. Check is in the post, but I have coughed on it, so don't open it.
TBC.
Octopus.
Just wear gloves when you're putting it in the automatic cash checker. Check casher.
Automatic Chick-Kisha. Chick-Kashar.
The automatic cashier.
The best method I've seen so far, though, doing the rounds.
Yes.
And I'm going to have to bring this one up. It wasn't sent to us directly, but when I saw this, I was like, that is, I'll be honest, that is a phenomenal way to while away the hours and keep a level head. But Cassie, on Twitter, account CassK9, no relation. Cass has tweeted out, things you can do in quarantine.
Okay.
Chores.
Yep.
Sweep till the floor's all clean.
Yep.
Polish, wax, do laundry, mop and shine up. Sweep again, and by then, it's like 7:15. So read a book, or maybe 2 or 3. Add a few new paintings to my gallery. Play guitar, knit, cook. I wonder, when will my life begin? Now, that might sound familiar, folks. And that's because we've all had the same thought unanimously because we've become a hive brain. So
yeah. That's how we're going to while away our self-isolation. We're going to slowly become one cyclically linked gestalt.
Could you imagine? That would be beautiful.
And then
I'd love that.
When the doors open, the flesh shall finally come together.
Doom Annihilation, streaming now on TV. How have you been whiling away the quarantined time so far, aside from The Chase and Doom Annihilation?
I have 3 more Pokemon left to catch to complete my Galar Pokedex on Pokemon Shield.
Shut the front door. You've stormed that.
397 out of 400 at the moment.
Blimey.
Yes.
Well bloody done. Yes. Oh my god.
It's very good.
Have you been having fun on that one?
Yeah, it's really good, man. It's really good.
Is it painfully British?
Kind of.
Sorry, is it painfully everyone outside of Britain's idea of what British things are?
It has some great fake British town names, like
Little Ploddington,
like Postwick.
Oh, that's great. That sounds real.
The capital, the final city where the league is held, is called Windon. With a Y, as in Windsor. Moto Stoke.
He's the bad guy from Powerpuff Girls, isn't he?
Stowonside.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Chichester.
That sounds real.
I know.
That's brilliantly put together.
Spikemouth.
That sounds like a nickname punk teenagers would give to the village they're stuck in.
There's a big old castle town called Hammerlock.
Sounds delicious.
It is quite delicious.
Welcome to Hammerlock, boys and girls. Population porky.
There's a couple of the early towns are called Turfield and what's the one where the water gym is? It's summer. I don't know. It's fucking summer.
Wank and Dribbles.
It's Hulbury, I think it is.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. But yeah,
in many a way,
it's charmingly British, and there are weird Pokemon in it. Like, there's an apple that turns into 2 different kinds of apple dragon, depending on what apple you feed it.
Of course, it
one
does.
of them is.
Oh my god!
One of them is a dragon whose like wings and carapace are the apple peel, and it's called Flapple.
Okay, they've won me over.
And then the other one...
They've won me over. I was sceptical, and then I heard the name.
The other one is called Appleton, and it is a dragon apple pie. There's a haunted teacup filled with ectoplasm called Sinistea.
Oh god, that one's good.
Which evolves into a haunted ectoplasm filled tea set called Poltergeist. Yes.
Oh, I should hate that, but I can't.
There's new regional forms, like there's a fairy type Ponyta and Rapidash that look like unicorns, like with the blue and pink and stuff manes. So they're not fire types anymore; they're fairy types now. There's a Galarian Weezing, which is the big top hat and the smoky
monocle,
the smoky mustaches. I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll bring up some of the pictures and do screen share for you, so you can see.
I can gaze upon them in awe.
There's the Galarian Mr. Mime and his new evolution, Mr. Rhyme, which
what the hell?
Both look like paedophiles.
Of course they do. They're Mr. Mime.
Yeah, look at this shit.
Mr. Mime has never looked like anything but a predator.
Well. You should see this. I'm giving you some screen share.
Mr. Rhyme.
Mr. Rhyme.
Oh, God. Hello and say hi to Mr. Rhyme. He's here to save your mind, my child.
No, you cannot.
Ooh, almost.
You can see my screen.
I can see me.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Matt, close that window. Jesus. Dirty windows.
So some of these
dirty windows and doors.
Cerebi.net. Look at new Meowth.
Cerebi? Oh!
And
okay, that's... Okay, actually, no, the Meowth's scary, but the Ponyta's cute.
From Norway, and it has a new evolution. So, like, old-style Meowth still evolve into Persian, but the new Meowths evolve into... I can find him, except your
weird terms of service. What?
Is a Viking Meowth.
Oh, Berserker. Right, thank God.
Berserker.
Would you like to catch Pokemon Berserker?
Cursula, which is a dead coral evolution of Corsola.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's Mr. Rhyme.
Surfetched!
Surfetched, yeah.
I love that.
Is a new evolution of Farfetch'd.
He's a little gentleman.
That's the Galarian Mr. Mime. That's the Galarian Weezing.
Oh, it's a top hat, but it's also a chimney.
Yeah, it's like pollution-y. So yeah, it's very cute. It's it's fucking Pokemon. What do you want from us? A couple of these new.
That Farfetch'd there, is that the new differences to Farfetch'd? Just that his leak is sagging.
And he's a fighting type instead of a normal flying dual type.
Dirty swine.
But yeah, there's your new starters.
Oh.
The big monkey with a drum and a rabbit football player.
Oh, Sobble's cute. Who did you start with?
Sobble.
Yeah, the other two look freaky.
Who evolves into a secret agent. I shit you not, that it's a secret agent Pokemon called Inteleon.
Why?
I don't know. Nickit and Thievul, which are like foxes but also Dick Dastardly with the twirly mustaches.
I noticed the patterns carried on of like starters, bugs, birds.
Yeah. There's a coal.
I'm sorry.
Coal mining Pokemon.
Is that a coal monster with bollocks for a torso?
No, it's like it's a supposed to be like a minecart.
Those are bollocks.
Look at Yamper.
Those are bollocks.
Like a little corgi looking motherfucker.
Oh, Yamper looks like the otter looking motherfucker with the yellow collar.
And Appleton.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, it's like Flapple's like the apple that's opened up to reveal a Pokemon.
And,
that's cute. Whereas Appleton just looks like an apple got stung by a bee.
He's got his lattice.
And is in dire need of medical assistance.
I
bet the Pokédex entry is like, he's often mistaken for a dessert, and his children are devoured.
Clop.
Because Pokemon is, really pleasant.
Poltegeist. Impidimp and Morgrem and Grimmsnarl. Impidimp. I love it. But yes, you should look up some of these Pokemon, because this is quality audio content, me describing these Pokemon to you.
Guys, I can tell you now, through the medium of audio communication, I am half-mast.
Yeah.
From how tasty
the cover
these
legendary
look.
For Pokemon Sword is just a big wolf with a sword in its mouth. What more do you want?
Of course. And there's a wolf with the colour scheme of Optimus Prime.
Yes.
So...
How do I turn screen
That's
share
all you
off
need,
now?
really. I guess you just click the camera.
Stop sharing.
Maybe. Oh, hey, Matt, you're back.
So yeah,
you're no longer a
that's what I've been doing. My
T-set. It's good.
I'm playing a lot of Warframe as well, because they've added the space combat stuff now.
Timing.
The Railjack. So then they added it before the whole coronavirus thing, but they've added the Railjack expansion, so you can build your Railjack, which is like a little 4-man frigate, and then you can take a crew out and one of your pilots, and you've got gunner positions.
Yeah.
One of you has to run around and repair leaks. One of you can go out in your Arcwing and do fighter-to-fighter combat and board enemy ships and stuff. It's cool. It's very cool.
It's like Battlefront 2, the proper one, not
getting a full
squad
can be tricky, but it's when you do get a team working together, it's really, really satisfying. So how have you been spending your isolation, Christopher?
Well, in my attempts to rack up the numbers on the partner program, I've been daily streaming at the moment every day, roughly late lunchtime, and the daily streams kicked off with me. Finally, originally it was Final Fantasy X, and I'm dragging on it now. I'm like, I think I'm past where I got up to when I played it on the PS2.
How far are you in? Because I quite like Final Fantasy X.
I'm not a huge way in. Like,
I've completed it a couple of times.
I'm at that period where you remember that long bastard road where you keep bumping into the old nobleman who talks like this and describes everything to you in this voice. In a voice that made me go, I recognise that. Who is it? And I had to Google it.
That's not actually that far in. It's not. The Mihen High Road.
Yeah, it's like, it's not even a quarter of the way in.
Yeah.
It's early down. It's a good, like, sort of 15 hours of playtime in. But it's not far into the full campaign at all. But it was a mixture of things killed my enthusiasm for it a little bit on my streaming, because I heard his voice and he made me excited. Because I was like, I remember that voice. Am I remembering it from my teenage years, or has he been in something else recently? Googled him. It's freaking Howling Mad Murdoch from A-Team. So of course, most recently I've heard him do that exact same voice, saying about 5 years ago, in fact, saying things like, "Pig wants a hug. Pig wants to feel the nails in his chest." So I was like, "Oh, it's Professor Pig from Arkham Knight." Okay, but Pig. That kept me happy. And then, but then that long road, I got near the end and everybody died. And then I suddenly remembered in my head, oh, Jesus, I'm going to go back to the save point at the very start of this road. Yep. I'll come back to this tomorrow. So I came back to it tomorrow, the next day. But of course, the other thing that killed it for me, Matt, is the most boring side mission in the history of everything. Because it has no internal logic at all.
You've not played enough Final Fantasy X, clearly. Tell me about this side mission. Which one is it?
Blitzball. Blitzball can suck my blitzballs.
Listen, if you get good at blitzball,
then you've spent far too much time playing blitzball when you could have been doing other things like jerking off, having a pleasant shit, eating toast.
It's the only way to get Whacker's ultimate weapon and ultimate overdrive. So you kind of got to play it if you want to go. But max everything out.
It's 2020 and Whacker's problematic now.
Whacker is problematic.
It's John DiMaggio acting his heart out whilst doing a very, very questionable Caribbean accent, whilst the character is also white as sin.
Definitely problematic.
James Arnold Taylor is a phenomenal performer, but
not in that, he isn't.
I want to smack Tidus around his chops. When it got
Sorry. Tidus.
Mine is called Yonko. When it got to... Mine's called Yonko, and then I forgot, I can rename all these if I want, and I forgot to do that for my first summon for Yuna. My second one, I opened it up to the chat, and we collectively named them... This is the big demon dog.
Ifrit.
Yeah, we collectively named it Mildred. So that's Mildred. But I got through Blitzball, and I was like, I am just... We got to that moment. You know exactly which moment I'm talking about. Ha ha ha! And I just had to go deathly quiet. I went, if you've never seen this game before, folks, just watch this cutscene.
Part of what you've got to remember for that, of why a lot of the voice acting is so bad, and they fixed a lot of this with Final Fantasy 12. Like 12 has excellent voice acting.
Yeah.
Because it's twofold. One, they've got to match a lot of it to the Japanese lip syncing.
Yeah.
They don't re-lip sync it.
Yeah.
And two, it's not translated by native English speakers.
No. So accompany that with the direction approach, because as well, like, the world of anime, dubs have kind of got slicker over time, but there is an expected, like pantomime and things like that, there's an expected delivery, there's an expected tone. And it's part of the reason why I can't really watch anime. It's not for me, and it's because the tone's just so odd and off-putting in a weird way. I love that people love it, ain't for me. And these games are the exact same tone. Like, and this is early 2000s. Like,
an argument could definitely be made for subs, not dubs. In video games as well as anime.
I would have preferred subs for this, or like the main FMVs. Whenever it's a big FMV sequence in this, there's no dialogue. It's always expressions or like exerted sounds. There's never any major dialogue in the big FMVs.
There is later on.
I believe that, especially for like the finale as it's closing in, there'll definitely be more weight. But at the moment, it's more reactive stuff. Like when Sin first attacks, wherever the name of the bloody island is. So it's the second time you see Sin in the game. Yeah, that's beautiful. Like, it's terrifying and really scary. And then the sort of the funeral ceremony afterwards, when when she takes her boots off and she walks out across the water, that's gorgeous. And then the next scene starts and the voice acting begins again, and you go, "Oh, everyone, shut up, please!"
Well, also, don't forget, this was also the first Final Fantasy to have voice acting.
Yeah, true.
None of them were voice acted before this.
It makes me wonder how I'm going to experience 10-2. Because that was the main reason I bought this collection, is because I still have Final Fantasy X on the PS2 downstairs, but I was like, I always wanted to play 10-2 at the time, and the fact that this was, here's both of them in one volume, I was like, great.
I've never finished 10-2, but I like it quite a lot. It plays very differently, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, is it more wacky and kitsch? More kitsch.
It's almost an attempt at comedy.
Okay,
like that's where it's pitched. Like, it's the main trio is a trio. Well, it's two of the characters from the original.
Yuna and Riku.
Yuna and Riku carry over, and this new character called Pain. They're a trio of treasure hunters who may or may not also be pop stars. And
hang on, wait.
And you rotate through their powers like different job classes by dressing them up.
Okay, so hang on. When we meet Riku in the original game, she is a pirate.
Yeah.
So I get that. Treasure hunter, pirate, explorer, submarine captain, swashbuckler, fine.
Yeah.
Yuna is not like a treasure hunter. She's like the quietest little flower.
Yuna changes a lot.
Okay.
Throughout the events of Final Fantasy X.
I will absolutely get back to it and indulge in that. But I hit a point where I was like, I can't carry this on. So I switched up.
I get you.
I switched up to fill a gap in my gaming experience. There's a series where I was aware of it, I admired it, I played the last entry first, and then went back to start playing through them. And as of last week, I'd only ever played the first, second, fourth, and epilogue stories, and a bit of the prequel. So this week I rectified that. This week I played Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception. Because it's the only one I've not played. I've played Golden Abyss, I've played Drake's Fortune, Among Thieves, and I started my journey with Thieves' End. A Thief's End, and I've played Lost Legacy.
The only one I haven't played is Lost Legacy.
Lost Legacy is great. It is.
I hear it's really good. I've just not got around to it.
It's really good, and it's lovely and short. It's like a couple of long evenings. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a great epilogue. And if they wanted to do more games, that's the way to do it. You keep the banner name, you keep the control scheme, but you don't do more stories with Nathan.
Yeah.
But I was really happy. I was like, okay, I get to experience like one more. I had a lot of fun. I completed it in 5 sittings. One of which was like a 4-hour, just like, oh my god, let's get stuck in.
Yeah.
I love those games, man. Cinematic.
How did you find 3? Because a lot of people thought 3 was like too much more of the same.
3's problem is it's the game that is responding to the Call of Duty generation.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot more run and gun, and it's a lot more heavy firefights than the other 3 games in the main series. I mean, even the location-wise, you end up in a desert location, but a lot of the locations feel like they're more out of Call of Duty or Battlefield or games like that instead.
Yeah.
Like the closest wildlife location you get to is a manor house in it's a manor house in Paris, just outside of Paris. It's an abandoned mansion.
The one that burns down.
Yeah, and that's in a forest, so that's like the closest you get. There's a lot of underground temples, and there's those fucking spiders. But, I did not realise they were going to be in every location.
I'll be honest, a lot of the events of the Uncharted games run together for me. There are some bits that I can't remember whether they're in 2 or 3.
Yeah. I know, I get you. Well, I'll highlight the set pieces for this one for you. 3's got the excellent opening in London that runs simultaneously with the flashback to him as a kid in I can't remember the villages, but it's got the entire sequences in Syria when you reunite with Elena.
Is it the one where you're chasing a train on the back of a horse?
You're mixing a couple up there. It's the big like chase scene is you're chasing the convoy, so it's the trucks on horseback.
Yeah.
With a guy called, I think, Salim, and you're just chasing after him. That was the most thrilling thing I've played in weeks. That was so much fun. And I've realised each of the games has something like that sequence, and for this one, that was it, and it was so good. You have the entire sequence, again, mostly shootout, but in the ship graveyard, which is really good.
I got stuck on that for fucking ages.
Is it the first bit where you get the guys behind the massive machine gun? Oh, good lord! Anyone who watched the 4-hour stream, the first hour and a half was that sequence, just trying to do it smoothly.
I can believe that.
It was nuts, but fun. Like, I don't think you ever get frustrated at Uncharted. Do you know what I mean? You sort of get to a point you go, but I think if I try that...
I mean, have you tried playing it on Crushing?
Oh god, no.
I've tried a platinum run on the first game on the PS3, and I got about halfway through it on Crushing, and I just hit a wall. I just couldn't do it.
Not surprised. It's tough.
Fucking brutal.
It's tough, but so I now that I've finished number 3, and again I was talking to Lucy about this because this is like one of her favourite game series on the planet.
Great games.
She was a child of the Tomb Raider generation, and then when Tomb Raider, there was a time, younger listeners, where Tomb Raider wasn't good anymore, and then wasn't around, and then Uncharted 1 happened shortly after Tomb Raider came back.
I think the longest they went without a Tomb Raider was probably 2, maybe 3 years.
Hang on, Angel of Darkness was 2003.
Last Revelation was 2000.
2000. What was the Tomb Raider? Tomb Raider 2. Tomb Raider starring Lara Croft.
Oh God, no. Tomb Raider is just Tomb Raider.
Is it?
No, Tomb Raider 2.
Tomb Raider is Tomb Raider 2 starring Lara Croft. Then the third one is, I think, Tomb Raider 3.
Yes.
And then it's Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, The Last Revelation.
Yes.
No, Tomb Raider Chronicles, and then The Last Revelation. Because Chronicles.
I thought they were the other way around.
Because Chronicles is like a compendium of stories across decades, and then Last Revelation is she's died, and here's more flashback stories across her life.
No, it wasn't.
Or was that the other way around?
I think it came out the other way around because she
died. She dies at the end of number 4. Yeah, and number 5
is Last Revelation.
Yeah, and
then
Chronicles is stories of her life.
Chronicles sets up the idea that she's still around after the events of Last Revelation, I think.
Yeah.
And then they did Angel of Darkness.
Angel of the Dark. I think that might have been a 3-year gap, because I'm sure that was 2003. And then
Angel of Darkness sucked.
Legend was 2006. Legend is great. That was
the first Crystal Dynamics one.
Yeah, it's its own. Yes, its own trilogy. Legend. The one they're all starring Keely Hawes as Lara Croft.
Yeah, it's Legend Anniversary, which is the remake of the first one.
Yeah, but ties in thematically with Legend.
Yes,
and then Underworld, which is a conclusion to both of those stories.
Yeah.
That's great. That's peak Lara. But the reason why they upped their game is because during that period, Uncharted came out.
Yeah,
and everyone was like, "This is like Tomb Raider, but better."
And
Tomb Raider went, right, step up.
Yeah,
let's do
the
this.
reboot series, and then we've got Tomb Raider, Rise of, and Shadow of.
Whilst at the same time, a couple of Lara Croft and the games released, which are like sort of
like
PvP and co-op and things like that.
Yeah, like co-op isometric kind of puzzly things.
Like we've got Lara Croft and the Temple of Osiris, I think it's called.
Yeah, there was Temple of Osiris and
that was the second one.
Tomb of something, I think.
Tomb Raider, Lara Croft, and the game that's cheap in the sales. Keep an eye out for it. Yeah, and those ones still star Keely Hawes as Lara Croft.
Yes,
they're set in the same continuity as the Crystal Dynamics trilogy. But yes, Uncharted upped the game. Lucy fell in love with that series so hard, and to the point where the reboot series, especially 2013's Tomb Raider, is mostly compared to Uncharted. It's like, this is like Uncharted, but it's a survival game.
It borrows so much from Uncharted.
Yeah,
in like the shooting and action-y stuff, and
but when things redefine the genre, it's understandable.
Oh yeah.
Like the amount of action adventures nowadays that like feel like a response to the Arkham series. It's you know, when things change the game, let them change the game. Like let's.
Well, did you play Shadow of Mordor, right?
Yeah. Oh, Shadow of Mordor. I played Shadow of Mordor.
It's Assassin's Creed meets Arkham City. Like that's what it is.
Yeah,
it is that. And
well, same like Marvel Spider-Man doesn't lift the Arkham combat directly, but
so much as develop it.
It's in its
DNA.
Got
elements of it.
It's in its DNA. It's like if Prototype had put Arkham combat in.
Yeah,
and you had the ability to actually move higher than just running up some buildings. Prototype shit. Prototype 2, pretty good. But yeah, I loved it. But what I loved about the first one and the second one is how there is a supernatural element usually revealed within the final third. Or like a confirmation of the legend is true.
Yeah.
The fourth one, which is the first one I played, toys with that, and then it reveals nope. This story has always been about the stakes between the story of the brothers and what their relationship is, and that's the key to this story.
Yeah.
Forget the supernatural bullshit, guys. It's not what matters. And the final showdown of number 4 is you fist fighting Rafe in a flaming ship as it's about to bury you both under the waves. Remember
how much of a prick Rafe is as well.
Oh god. And now that I've played number 3, I realise that it's just a response to the finale of number 3, where you're fighting Wass's fuck on top of the city as it's sinking in the sands.
Yeah.
And you're just getting proper stuck in, and it ends on a fist fight, which at first I was like, is this anticlimactic? And then as the final scenes were rolling out, I was like, no.
You've clearly never played Metal Gear Solid 4.
No, because I don't have 4 hours to set aside to watch the end cutscene.
Yeah, it's a long-ass cutscene. It's good, though.
But I like that this one also teases you with Supernatural, but then you only kind of get it, and it teases you right up to the end, to the point where, like, oh, this might have djinn in it. This might have genies.
Yeah.
And you see them, but it ends up being a hallucination.
Yeah.
And you fight them, and it ends up being a hallucination. And then at the end, you see the casket being lifted out that might contain this whole supernatural evil that they want it for basically power and wealth. It might also be a world-ending thing. And you fire the flare gun at the crane, let it sink back to the bottom of the what's-it, and that triggers a, albeit supernatural reaction of the sands suddenly sinking the city. But there's no supernatural threat to fight at the end. It was like, okay, but there's still those chuffing spiders. God, I hate those spiders.
They're bordering on supernatural, to be honest.
Yeah, because they're in every location, in every country, and they devour people and leave the husk grey and withered within seconds. So there's there's something supernatural, but there's no like Nazi experiment sort of zombie creatures or people turning blue and zooming around anywhere kind of stuff. So, you know, I was pleasantly surprised. I still think Uncharted 2 Among Thieves is the top of the pile for me. As just a narrative experience and everything. It's so much fun. But I enjoyed it. And now I've moved on to Ghostbusters the video game remastered.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, I picked up in
sale. It'd be nice to be able to play through that with a fresh coat of paint.
Yeah, a couple of months ago it was in the January sales for, keep in mind again, relatively newish release, but also not full price game. But in the sale it was, I think it was $12.99 for a limited period. And I went, snatch! Why not? I've got the PS3 one, I love it, but I kind of want to, you know, I want to fall back in love with it, because I never finished it on PS3. I got close and I never finished it.
Yeah.
I've got to say, gameplay is a little smoother with the bigger DualShock, like with the PS4 controller. Because this is one of those games...
It's not until I went back to playing PS3 stuff after getting my hands on the PS4 controller that I realised just how much better the DualShock 4 is.
Yeah. Than
the classic shape of the DualShock.
Because this is one of those Ghostbusters video games, one of those games where you have to have, and this is rare for me, you have to have all four fingers on the triggers to get your capturing done. And I think that's why I didn't enjoy it as much on the PS3 in comparison. But
yeah, the bottom triggers on the PS3 just aren't as nice.
No, but whereas this one,
squishy,
they're chunkier on this boy, so it's a little easier to get my fleshy tendrils around and devour it. Oh, but it's nice. The FMVs have not aged well. They've not done much to the FMVs, and the lip sync is off.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I mean, some of these remasters are lazier than others. It depends what the original assets are like. So,
but it's very cinematic lotting, and let's be honest, it's just nice to hear the four originals saying things to each other, plus Annie Potts, plus Max von Sydow, rest in peace.
Oh yeah, of course, that happened.
Yeah, voicing over Vigo the Carpathian's portrait, because you can interact with that, and the more you talk to him, the more banal and like modern his phrasing becomes.
They're really good
because he's been sat in their garage for at least a year.
Very good. Very good.
Nice touch. Although this is hilarious. This shows you how much of a bit of a basic coat of paint they gave it. At the very beginning, you have the preamble title, the thing in the museum at the Gozer exhibit.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the credits, and the cast names come up, and it says written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis, because they were approached. They went, "Oh, we got some notes," and then they made some notes, and then they just turned around and went, "Can we write it?" And Sony went, "You do realise writing a script for a game is different for a film. It's like 5,000 pages." And they went,
"Yeah,
sure." And you can smell, their sound all over it. Listen.
Yeah.
Do you smell that? And it's it's throughout. Like even the ghost profiles, like when you find haunted objects and you scan them with a PKE meter and you just read them in the bio, they're all written in a way where you're like, yeah, this is Aykroyd. Like Aykroyd has written this. This is a fun little comedy beat with a supernatural twist. It's nice.
This is such a fucking odd guy, Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, he is. But then, before it goes to the first proper scene in the firehouse, when we're introduced to our protagonist, Rookie, a random screen comes up. It's still black like the rest of the credits, but it's in a completely different font. And it's jarring in the worst way, because what the font says is, "In loving memory of Harold Ramis."
Oh.
Which, of course, was not in the original 2009 game.
It's a nice gesture, but it's just bungled.
Yeah, like they've not even tried to make it in the same font.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fade up. It's just like, the cast names come up. Yeah, it's the four principal cast members' names flash up at the start. So, it's in order of who paid who the most. So it's like Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Ernie Hudson, and then text! And then FMV ends. And you're like,
yeah,
that's weird. But yeah. But Winston's in it at the point where I'm up to now. We're about to face Stay Puft, so I'm happy because my boy's in it.
That's pretty good.
My boy is in the game.
My boy, Winston.
My boy, Winstone. We're also finally getting around to John Wick Chapter 3 tomorrow night.
Have you not seen it yet?
We've not seen it. We bought the trilogy a couple months ago on Blu-ray, and we've recapped. Yesterday we watched John Wick, today we watched Chapter 2, and we're watching Parabellum tomorrow night.
Parabellum is very good.
Cannot wait.
It's very good.
God, those films are so good. They're so good. Have we got out in the email box to shout this week?
We've got an email, but I think we should save it for next week.
Okie dokie.
Are
you suggesting there might not be news to talk about next week?
Yeah, let's just kind of pad out the... what else is going on? I've been watching the Fox War of the Worlds that started airing on Now TV.
How is it?
So I've watched the first 2 of those. It's okay. It's not War of the Worlds.
No, okay.
It's a more generic alien invasion story.
Oh.
But it's interesting.
It's weird, isn't it? We got 2 adaptations within a certain period of time, and one chooses to adapt the structure of the original and the time, but heavily deviate in other ways that don't quite work and has a sloppy execution. And yet the other is apparently competent, but is like, it could be about anything.
But 2 episodes in, there's not much...
Tripods?
War of the Worlds in there. Nope.
Red weed?
Nope.
Just spaceships?
Nope.
Aliens hidden in plain sight?
Probably not.
For budgetary reasons, aliens that look like people whilst they're in disguise.
Not as far as I'm aware.
They can look like us. Oh, because this is a story about like infiltration and deception? No, because it's cheaper.
No, I'm 2 episodes in out of 7, I think. So who knows what's going to happen with it?
Who knows? Hey,
who knows? What else is going on? So I'll talk a bit more about that next week. There's not really any films to talk about. There's nothing to talk about. So we'll save the email for. We're gonna
have to get some streaming service stuff in, aren't we? We're gonna have to start packing and cramming.
Well, I'll tell you what I did do.
Open up another bottle of beer?
Just before... no, unfortunately not.
I can't. This is the last one. This is the last one.
Oh, no!
It's all right. We've got Jack Daniels and gin in, so we can cope.
Sure.
And we've got so much. We've got so much champagne and not champagne. We've got 1 bottle of champagne. That's the most pretentious first world thing ever. We've got 1 bottle of champagne and we've got 2 bottles of prosecco in the fridge.
That were all Christmas for when you're isolation.
Well, they were all Christmas presents. And that prosecco is looking tastier and tastier as the day goes by.
Yeah.
So
I think you should save it for when you both finished your isolation.
Wait, did I say champagne?
You said prosecco.
Just a bottle of white wine and 2 bottles of prosecco. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm dreaming of what might
maybe
be.
You did say champagne. I've already forgotten what you said. I remember you said prosecco.
What's in your coffee?
I finished it. That's probably why. All the Friday the 13th movies are on Now TV. So I watched the first one ages ago because I'd never seen it.
Yeah.
It's not very good.
It's not, but let's be honest, it survived because that ending, if you can put your head in the headspace of somebody who saw it for the very first time before any of it existed as a franchise, that ending is brilliant. That last shot is just terrifying.
I watched the second one a few days ago.
Yeah. This is the burlap sack one.
Yeah.
Where Jason is the antagonist finally, but he's in blue overalls and a burlap sack.
It's even worse.
Yeah.
It's really bad. I'm watching and thinking, how did this series get why do people keep watching these?
Because people wanted more Halloween, but they weren't making it yet.
So I guess I'm gonna watch more Friday the 13th. So I watched Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, but not in 3D, and report back next week and see if I can fit any more in, because they're bad. They're really not good.
I might watch Halloween 3 just cause.
Halloween 3 is good.
Silver Shamrock.
If you've never seen it, on iPlayer at the moment, because they sometimes get movies in, The Relic.
Really?
Interesting horror feature. Adapted from a novel from 96 or 7.
Okay.
It's mid-90s. Horror adaptation. Alien in a museum in New York, basically.
Aseum.
Aseum. It's good. I remember it being good. I don't know if it holds up, but I'm going to give it a watch at some point. And
I'm holding you to it.
Tom Sizemore in a fighting an alien in a museum.
It's like Alone in the Dark, but not Alone in the Dark.
It's a lot better than Alone in the Dark, I'll tell you that.
Everything's better than Alone in the Dark.
I think it's like a contemporary of Mimic. So it's that kind of era.
All right. Okay.
But it was a bit more mainstream than Mimic was. I like Mimic, man. Mimic's good.
Is it?
Remember Mimic?
Is it?
Anyway. Off you all go. We are here.
Currently.
Keep an eye on @BigDamnCast for when, content's going to get back to normal. Everything's a bit all over the place. But, follow us on Twitter, @BigDamnCast. Keep an eye on things there. Send us emails, bigdamcontact@gmail.com. Let us know how y'all are doing. When we are streaming, you'll want to head over to twitch.tv/BigDamnStream, where either myself or Chris will share things with you. And I wouldn't recommend it in the current climate because things are tough. But if you do want to support us and you're in the position to, then you can head over to patreon.com/BigDamnCast and do that there. We'll be back next week with some more Big Damn Cast.
What form it takes.
Whatever form it takes. Until then, stay safe, look after yourselves. Remember, it's not necessarily about what the virus can do to you. It's about what it can do to the people that you can infect.
Yeah.
So bear that in mind when you're, doing your things. If you know people who are vulnerable, at risk, then you should be taking measures to protect them. And just look after yourself, and as much as you can, without endangering yourself, look after each other. And we'll see you back here next week. Well, you'll hear us back here next week. We won't see you. I can't see you when you listen to this. Probably for the best. I don't want to see that grimace. I already have enough self-esteem issues.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear any of that. I was drinking. What would you say?
Anyway, bye!
Bye!